That'll be amazing.
Yeah, once the social distancing period is over.
Yeah.
Or you
All right.
just send them in the mail.
Yeah, at this point.
I mean,
All right. We're here. We're live. Hey, hi. We've been gone for a while, but we're back.
yeah.
It's also so sunny because we're not doing this at night.
That's right.
Nice. I actually appreciate it. I like my lighting situation a lot better.
Yeah, we could see Craig. So, to get us up to speed on where we were like a month and a half ago,
Thank you.
you had all decided to take on the challenge of driving an ancient blue dragon out of Nyx's home village. In order to do that, you took a teleportation circle portal to the human capital of Briek. Upon arriving in the city, you were accosted for using magic within the city and using a teleportation circle that people have either A, forgotten, or B, not using. Not really sure which yet. You spoke to a guard captain who let you go, and then headed to Sai's old home. Upon arriving, you were introduced to Arthur the Cock, Sai's old partner and friend, still within the city, cursed by a witch to turn into a chicken every so often.
I completely forgot about him.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry,
And then
He's a good dude.
he's a good guy. And then decided to come up with a plan of action as to what to do next. Three of you, Phaedra, Marleman, and Nyx, headed off for the Jarls, for the long hut at the top of the city, to discuss with the Jarls options to help with the occupation.
Right.
Upon talking to the female Jarl, you were
Yes, this conversation.
you were alerted to the fact that they are aware of the blue dragon problem, but have not been putting their full force into it. And in discussions with Arthur, which we'll get into in a second, you may now know why, or at least have an idea as to why. But you were promised 500 soldiers from the kingdom to march towards the village in order to help. It would be a 5 days march from where you are now, and they're waiting on your word as to when to begin. The three of you then returned to Sai's old home to discuss. The two things that were brought up in that discussion is one, why there is now no magic within the city. This is a relatively new thing. Briek has never been a particularly magical city as it is, but the almost complete outlawing of magic within the city is very new. Arthur informed all of you that there have been some takings, some kidnappings of individuals who did display magical talent, and they are being brought south for some reason. The other thing that was discussed is to what the fuck to do about the blue dragon. And you all discussed that one of the things you noticed is that all of the soldiers still within the city are conscripted soldiers. They're not trained or paid soldiers. So you decided to head towards the training grounds in order to offer your assistance and offer your aid in training the 500 who will be coming with you.
We did do that.
And that's where we pick up, actually, because that's what you guys were doing. You were walking from the city into the lower rings or into the lower areas in order to head towards the training grounds.
Okay.
As you are all going, Arthur at first is chatty. He is talkative. He is, kind of keeping up with all of you. But then as you get closer and closer to the main gates, he starts to hang back a bit before grabbing Sai and going, I know I said I would go with you, but I'm not comfortable being around them.
Around
If
who?
Soldiers?
If they see my abilities, if they see my powers, they might decide that I need to go somewhere. I'm going to hang back, and I'll meet up with all of you later.
That's fine, my friend. Any information more you can get us would be great.
I'll keep my beak to the ground.
Now, one thing I want to ask you, Gary. I thought it was just Trev and I who were going to train the soldiers because everybody else was doing something else.
I just have that all of you are heading to the training grounds. If you guys want to be doing something else, you certainly can. Let me kind of set the stage for what you guys are trying to do right now, at least. right now you're trying to do things that will make the upcoming battle against this ancient blue dragon easier. Some things you can do in order to do that: train soldiers, get soldiers, acquire supplies, gather information, find out more about blue dragons, things like that. Phaedra, I know you were going to be reading books this evening in order to do more research into blue dragons. We just haven't done that yet.
Mm-hmm.
You all can go and look for libraries, you can look for apothecaries, you can look for smithies, you can look for anything you'd like in order to make this easier. What you know about the occupation right now is that you don't know about the gnomish population there. You have not really done much contact with the exception of a scry on Nyx's family to know that they're safe. So you don't know if they're willing to fight, if they're, what they're up to. You do know that it is an army majority made of kobolds. At last glance, by spies sent by Briek that was given in the conversation, there could be up to 10,000 kobolds within where you're going. That's a lot of kobolds. So, any amount you can do to help that is great. What you've also learned so far is that ancient blue dragons are greedier dragons, material greed more than anything. They're not hunters, they're not ferocious in that way, they're material based. So one of the reasons that it could be within the village right now is that there were rich gem mines and gem veins within the mountains not too far away. That's what you've gotten right now. Mm-hmm. So, who would like to go to the training ground? Who would like to do something else?
I'm going to the training ground. That's
Same.
Yeah, Cy and Trev, I figured as much.
So you said gathering supplies? What kind of supplies did you mean?
So it's a 5-day march of conscripted soldiers. They probably have food and provisions, but it might not be the highest quality. So if you can find things that will keep the soldiers happier and more and stronger, they might be better within the fights.
Okay. I might try and do that then. Try and get stuff to kind of both for the troops. I want to ask Sai a question real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do we have that crystal stuff we got from the bottom of the ocean, I think?
I mean, I have some.
Okay. I'm just trying to think of possible bargaining tools that we might be able to use to lure the dragon away. I wonder if that's something that he would be willing to take a piece of and use.
Yeah.
Special. I don't know.
I mean, that actually brings up a better point of that. We never really sat down and said how we were going to do this or how we were going to take out the dragon. Did we want to just jump it? Did we want to try to go in as if we were friends or
if possible, I would always prefer to try and talk first. But I don't really know how rational or reasonable dragons are personally. So I don't know if that's super an option, but I am definitely always down for that as a thing to try. I have no idea if it will matter at all with the dragon.
I mean, anything we can do to get close enough to strike would be good.
Mm-hmm.
So
I feel do I know about dragons at all? Would I know about that? Can I roll something for that?
In your times in the woods, in your times as a druid, dragons aren't really your expertise. You could certainly try, but
no, I was just wondering if I knew a dragon or something. I've made a friend.
I mean, you do, but not in that way.
Right. Fine. I'm just listening. I'll go get food, I guess, or something.
I'm gonna go with you.
Okay, so Nyx, Armel, and Marleman going on the food and supplies adventure. Phaedra, what about you?
I'm trying to think because My not expertise, but my background's more in like research and anything that I can learn about the area. I'm gonna look for libraries, anything that can help me figure out like getting maps of the area, any information on the dragon. I feel like that would probably be my best use right now.
Like
Okay.
a good place to have the fight for our soldiers.
Yeah, like knowing like what kind of things we could encounter in the forest before we even get there.
Okay. So you will go into the city itself and begin looking for a library or knowledge repository or something like that.
I will also try to not do any magic if possible, just to be safe.
Well, that's yes. I believe that is assumed for everyone, save one who might do some magic accidentally. Who knows? You chose this, not me.
Phaedra, are you going in by yourself?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty loud. You'll notice if I'm not there.
Well, yeah. But that means like everybody in Break's gonna notice you. And they don't seem like the most welcoming, open-minded people.
Oh,
Has she been getting looks?
that's a good question.
All of you, as a group of people who do not live in this city, and the motley assortment of races that you are, have been getting some pretty serious side eye. The guards have been tightening up the grips on their weapons anytime you pass. The residents seem to trying to not be catching your eye in any sort of way. It's a distrustful city, but not a violent city currently.
No open hostilities.
No.
Okay.
I think as long as she kind of
Yeah.
keeps to herself, like if she's just going to libraries, I can't imagine.
I just want you to be
find
safe.
any secret, doors or anything.
Okay.
That'd be cool.
So we'll start with the two heading towards the battlefield because that's what I have up top of my PDF. The two of you head down the long main road, before cresting a small hill and seeing a wide number of small tents, a few ramshackle buildings, and a relatively large training ground. Just flat, compact earth from years and years of footsteps and footfalls and whatnot. There's nothing fancy about it. You could see a small smithy towards the front that seems to be churning out supplies as fast as it can. And you can see within the parade grounds itself probably 400 to maybe 450 individuals all in some manner of drill right now. You can tell 3 officials standing in front of 5 regiments that all seem to be either barking orders or getting people into line, pulling people out of line, things like that.
And how many soldiers were we promised?
Around 500.
Okay.
So this is a good chunk of them. Others might be elsewhere. Towards the gates of the training ground, there is a small wooden wall, probably about 4 feet high, with logs pointing outwards, just to defend from some manner of attack. Probably nothing strong, but just something to delay. There is a guard sitting on a very small guard post, also relatively ramshackle, that looks up as you all walk in and just goes, "Can I help you?"
Yes, we were sent here by the Jarl. We will be leading 500 of the soldiers in the battle against the dragon threat, and we've come to assess them and, if we can, prepare them for what they're about to face.
The Jarl sent you.
She did. Emphasizing the she.
Yeah.
Well, nobody's seen the guy, so it'd be weird
Yeah.
if I was like, "Oh yeah, he told me to come down."
No,
Yeah.
I'm just laughing at the oopsie from last time.
Yeah.
It was great.
It was an oopsie.
It's a good thing I didn't come down there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like things would not go well.
The guy kind of looks at you with a bit of a side eye, not outwardly distrustful, but just enough that you can tell that they're taking a moment to think about this. And then goes, "Well, we did receive word that some of us would be mobilizing soon. Come in and find the commander. They'll be able to help you a little bit more."
Yeah, I think that would be best.
Sort of nods and lets you guys in.
I do want to grab Trev for a second and be like, hey, on the walk up before we got there, have you ever fought kobolds or whatever else we know is in the army?
Oh, I'm sure I
Oh yeah,
like
Yeah.
absolutely.
you all
They're no
have.
big deal, but
All right.
I mean,
I
no matter how bad these soldiers might be,
kobolds are
any
trash.
given kobolds, they're nothing. It's just
Right.
there's going to be a lot of them. So
Right.
we got to figure out, like, if we're going to teach these guys what to do, it's about how to handle. They just need to avoid getting overwhelmed. So we got to.
Right. And that's why I'm
Yeah.
asking this. Just to be like, all right, so we're on the same page when it comes to like what we're trying to teach them.
Yeah. Also,
Like-
mind that I probably I don't know how much they're going to connect with me because the whole thing. So we'll figure that part out. But you can sort of take the lead
Alright.
on this. They probably trust
Yeah.
you more than me.
If you want me to be the mouth and you to be the muscle, we can absolutely do that.
I just expect them to trust you.
Walking ahead of you guys is a relatively young page. It looks like, who is kind of running messages back and forth between regiments, and you can hear him as you both are walking into the training grounds, yelling, Commander Ducky, there are two people here to help you." And you see you see a silver-haired gentleman kind of turn and look at you. The armor is immaculate for someone who is supposed to be a commander of a conscripted army.
Oh, boy.
Almost resplendent. And you can see mirroring his long silvered hair is a arcing gray mustache that is curled at the edges. It kind of turns and looks at you and goes, "Oh yes, how can I help?"
Have I ever had encounters with this dude?
No.
Or his son.
No.
Yes.
No.
I'm sorry. I wrote this before things happened. I apologize.
It's fine. That's really funny.
Oh, shit. What was the girl's name again?
Bulgrim.
Fulgrim. Okay. So I'll walk up to him, introduce both of us, and be like, y'all, Fulgrim sent us to take command of the forces that will be leading into battle. We wanted to assess them and teach them about what they're about to fight, as we've had experience in killing many of them.
He kind of gives a kind of preeny look at you and says, "Well, my soldiers are highly trained over everything that they do. So what sort of experience could you give them that I do not have?"
Forgive me, Commander
Reginald Duckington, thank you.
Reginald Duckington. Okay. What, pray tell, is your experience?
I am a combat veteran who have worked through the kingdom's wars for so long. Almost 30 years I have given myself to this city. I have plenty of experience to offer. Thank you.
I see. So what wars have
Trev, make an
Blake been
insight
in?
check.
Oh, I was just gonna.
I was relying on my knowledge of Briek, but
Or
Yeah, 'cause
just,
I don't know shit about
intimidated.
because this guy sounds like a total flophead.
Roasted. Hold on.
Okay, Wes.
It's somewhere.
Sai, you can also make one if you want.
I will absolutely if you let me.
15.
Yes, of course.
Unless that's gonna
Wait,
do it. Like,
Oh, that will 100% do it for both of you. He
Yeah.
is lying through his teeth
yeah,
between the immaculate armor, between the perfectly manicured face and whatnot. This man has never stepped foot on a battlefield. He is very clearly a high-level official or something like that who got conscripted into being a commander by being powerful, probably over money.
So, how long have you been commanding these forces then?
I have been commander within Briek for 15 years. Thank you very much. I toiled and clawed my way into the position I am.
Yeah, it's good to know. So you're a part of the command structure that gave rise to this whole problem in the first place, or at least let it happen?
Yes, I am.
So you do need our help.
Excellent, yeah. So, Commander, and I place my hand on his shoulder, I take it you'll be leading from the front then. Excellent. Come join us for our drills. And I just turn around and start walking
Excuse me.
the closest body of troops.
Okay. He is fully taken aback, both by the concept of someone who is clearly a half-elf touching him, but also by someone talking to him like that. As he goes, "Excuse me, sir. You can't begin that kind of conversation. I don't even know your names. Please, what is your name and what is your slave's name?"
I draw my weapon immediately.
No.
Okay.
I point to him and say,
My tab.
So 2 things happen at once. The first is because you're wearing your cloak of the disruptor, they couldn't see your sword. So you pull that out and immediately he goes, slave was a poor term on my part. I apologize. Your manservant,
We're going to set something straight right now.
I just stand there doing nothing.
Okay.
Boy, I'm glad I'm not there.
Me too.
Sai and I have been working together for quite some time now. We have fought together, and you're going to be relying on the both of us to get any of you through this alive. I've been disrespected enough for an entire lifetime, and I have had enough of it.
Make an intimidation check.
We're here to work together, but not like that.
Yeah.
Make an intimidation check using strength, not with charisma.
In the distance, you hear R-E-S-P-E-C-T.
That's a lot. Yeah, that's like 21.
Okay. He immediately just goes, "Of course, my apologies, sirs. That was incredibly rude of me. It's not often that we see one of your people, Sir
Trevathan. And yes,
Trevathan.
There are a lot of preconceived notions that I've been struggling against, and I've done some bad things in my life. But I'm here to help."
Yeah.
Yes, and I'm sure our forces will greatly appreciate your help. He sort of turns without actually looking away from you guys. Just sort of his body shifts a bit as he goes, "Lieutenant, can you take these 2 gentlemen to the heads of the regiments, please? They have new training regimes. I'm going to go." And he just sort of fades backwards. He doesn't leave so much as just take those couple of steps backwards to see if you'll let him leave.
Before, as soon as he takes a couple steps back, I just bark at him, Commander, and point to the ground right in front of me, with the expectation that he's just going to come right to me and add attention. See what he does.
He slides forward.
I say, "So, I take it that you're going to do everything within your power to support and supply our troops with anything that we request. Is that correct?"
Yes, of course. The finest armor and weapons that Briek has to offer.
Excellent. If we don't, we will have words.
Understood, sir. And he skitters towards a tent that you assume is probably requisitions or a latrine, one of the 2.
Yeah, he could probably use both, but
at that moment, you can hear some footsteps behind you, and you turn and you see 5 individuals who have very clearly been pulled out of the regiments, each one representing one of the regiments. One has a large bow slung over their shoulder. They're fairly androgynous, so can't really tell either way for a gender. There's a large burly man carrying a hammer, very clearly coming from one of the infantry regiments. There's another more slender but harder looking woman also carrying an axe that is coming from one of the infantries. There is a woman in full plate armor, but stirrup style. This is clearly the head of the cavalry. And a fifth individual who is so young, the fact that they are here is astounding, and so young, the fact that they are a regiment commander is almost frightening. Who is carrying a long spear, and they introduce themselves as the head of the pike regiment. All five just sort of nod at you. The armored woman kind of looks you up and down for a second, Trev, not in a overly racist way, more in the this dude looks like he's seen some shit kind of way.
Yeah. So of the four of them, the
five.
no, I mean the four that are adults.
Yes.
Do they look like they have actual like combat experience or the bearings of soldiers on like the
The infantry leader certainly do. The cavalry leader definitely does. And the archer, 50-50. They definitely look trained in a bow. Whether or not that's battlefield or pulled off something else, unknown.
Is he human? Is it human?
They are not. They are all human.
Okay. Okay.
I'm going to be doing my best to keep the head of the archers regiment gender neutral, so they's pronouns, please.
That's fine. Well, and that's why I was curious. Lieutenants, I assume is your name. What is your ranks and names?
The head of the male head of infantry sort of barks. We're technically captains, sir.
Excellent. My name is Sai. This is my companion, Trevathan. Have you been informed about what you will be going up against?
The female head of infantry kind of barks forward and says, we were told we march in a couple of days and to be prepared for that. Just that our opponents will be large in number. That's all we know.
Excellent. So, if I could, what are your names and brief experience levels? I need to know what I'm working with. To all five of them.
The archer kind of steps forward and says, my name is Connor. I was a ranger before coming to Briek, and they brought me in to lead the archers here. The male infantry leader steps forward and says, name's Briek. Was a blacksmith. Now I'm here. The female infantry leader kind of nods and says, my name's Taylor. Same idea. Briek and I used to run the same smith. The cavalry woman who has stayed silent for the whole time says, my name is Sterls. I've been heading the cavalry in Briek for 5 years now. She kind of looks around and stage whispers, and I'm the only non-conscripted of the lot. And finally, the youngest of them pipes up and says, the name's Jonas. And I lead the kids brigade. I mean the pikemen here.
Repeat what your first phrase was.
Jonas sort of looks a little trepidatiously at the other four and says, the kids brigade.
Please define kids brigade.
Well, sir, the pike lines technically don't need strong soldiers, just people who can carry the pikes and dig them into the ground and hold them up when people run into them. So once all the able-bodied men and women were conscripted, they started asking some of us to do it. There's only 100 of us, and we don't let them take anyone under the age of 14. Yeah.
I look at the other 4 and say, how old are the youngest individuals in your regiments, in your squads?
From what you can gather from all of them talking off, the youngest is maybe 22, 23.
Okay.
And they're an archer.
Is the page still there?
He has run off, but there are a couple of other pages. The pages are probably between 8 and 9 years old that are kind of running around. You can just grab one.
Pages are fine. So I'll grab one and tell him to have the commander, Duckington, report to me immediately.
Yes, sir. And it away.
Okay. So I tell Trev, do you have any questions for them?
Not particularly.
Okay.
Burke kind of speaks up as you go to speak, Trev, and says, I want the record to show as well that I know break-ins have a reputation as fairly fucking terrible. Sir, you seem... I would be honored to learn from you, sir.
I
think
I made a poor first impression.
As he is saying that, he is just staring at your sword.
I think I might have made a bad first impression.
No.
I have a long history of violence, but I swear I'm trying to be better about it.
I think you made the exact right impression.
Yeah.
Burke kind of speaks up again and goes, if that's true, sir, if I may, our troops will happily listen to us, and we will happily be your go-betweens if you don't want to interact with some of the more unsavory members of our regiments.
I would rather say that they don't want to interact with me, but that's fair enough. Anyway, we I don't know exactly how to ask this because this is this is obviously going to be a very dangerous situation for all of us. But if you have the danger with conscripted soldiers seems to be exactly what I'm the most worried about right now, which is that they might not necessarily have their hearts and heads in the right place, regardless of how trained their hands and bodies might be. So I worry that, if we get, this is a death trap. This is a hugely dangerous situation. But if they keep their wits about them, then we have hope. But
and just so you guys have the numbers as well, they tell you how many people are in each of their regiments.
Okay.
There are 50 cavalry members. There are 50 archers. 100 of the pikemen. And then 150 in each regiment of infantry.
Okay. Is Duckington on his way over?
Oh, you hear him clanging from like 30 feet away.
So I'll I'll just say to the captains, assemble your regiments and have them on the training field ready for practice in 10 minutes.
They all give you the break-in salute, which is across the chest, and say, honors, and then go.
Then I lean over and whisper to Trev and be like, how am I doing playing like a soldier?
Shockingly well.
You both turn, and Duckington is making his way over to you. Definitely puffed himself up a bit when you guys weren't looking at him, but the moment you make eyes at him, Trev, he wilts immediately again. What can I do for you, sirs?
I feel we must discuss the Pike Regiment.
Yes, some of our finest soldiers here in Briek.
Some of your children.
We do what we must during this trying time.
Commander, take the children, put them back into the reserves, and get me 100 regular soldiers. And failing that, 100 adult conscripts to take their place.
Well, I'm not sure there are any more conscripts in the city. Oh, Trev, what do you do?
I don't think that I can help here, so I'm just going to walk away.
Okay. Duckington stands stunned in the dirt for a second before turning on his heel and walking away again.
And just walking over to the field, watching them assemble. I'm like,
Okay.
Trev, I would rather take 25 to 50 adults than any child. 1,000 children.
Well, stop. Think for a second about how corny the thing he's about to say is, and say something along the lines of, "Yeah, I wouldn't I'm not gonna sign off on the spending your youth being a fucking killing machine thing, and then look at this and look at this and be like, yeah, it's not good."
I mean, I've told you guys a little bit of my history. I'm in a similar boat.
I'm with you.
So yeah, no children. And is Duckington still standing there?
No, he has marched away back towards that same tent he had come from.
I grab another page, and all I tell him is, I point to him and say, "Tell Duckington I said no slaves either." I send him on the way just to make sure he gets the message.
Yes, sir. And he runs after Duckington.
Okay. How are the troops?
They are marshaling up. As they are, you can tell that the looks of the regiment is shabby at best. The weaponry is poor. The armoring is poor. It's bad. The cavalry looks great. These are very clearly either trained or well conscripted soldiers that they are trusting as mounted cavalry. They're very clearly where all money is going to here. The Kids Brigade, they arrive, they marshal, and then you see about 3 pages run over to Jonas to give him the news that they're being disbanded. There are small cheers. There are some kind of emotional farewells within the regiment as they all break. You can tell the adults inside the infantry and cavalry, 90% of them are incredibly happy to see this happen. They did not want this, it seems, and that 10% are just assholes, so who cares? But about 25 of them remain, Jonas among them. Jonas walks up to all of you, to you two, and says, "If it's okay with your honors, some of us older kids would like to stay if we can. We want to help as best we can. We said anybody under 16 needs to go, of course, but we want to help." Whoa.
His computer restarted.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll pick up there in a second. We'll jump over to Phaedra because yours should be relatively quick.
I also have something else I wanted to do in addition to that. So
yeah, what's up?
I assumed I would have asked Sai this before. Are there any temples in the city?
There are 3 major temples, one to Cord, one to the Raven Queen, and one of Arathis.
All right, I'm going to stop by all of them.
Okay.
And see if any of them are helping with the effort and ask if they can donate any people to assist with either on the battlefield or just any sort of assistance that they might. Sorry.
Whoa.
John, what was that?
It got sexual up in here.
I was watching a video. Never mind. Sorry, I just heard a loud noise. I didn't know what it was. Yeah. What?
Like the captain's face.
Shut up. We got a spray can and scared the cats before. Anyway.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I want to see. Like, I don't expect there to be a lot of war clerics.
No.
But I'm just going around seeing if any of them can offer any sort of assistance in preparation for this.
The members of the temples of Arathis and Cord that are there are they tell you they already have battle chaplains out in the field. Any that can use holy magic have been asked for a different task. They don't have any more information to give you as to what that is, but they do tell you that clerics, specifically magical using clerics, are currently requisitioned for something else. They don't know what. The Temple of the Raven Queen is a little more brusque with you. There are only 2 attendants there at the moment, and they tell you that they have no people to spare because the dead that are coming back need their rights. And the dead are coming back in large numbers currently. So they have nothing they can offer in that way.
Okay. Just thought I'd try.
Yeah. None of them give you a brush off so much. The leaders of the temples of Court and Arathis are incredibly polite, incredibly kind. And the members of the Church of the Raven Queen, they don't really connect with and interact with people anyway. So
they're like pure neutral.
Yeah, they're true neutral. They're just fucking weirdos. So there's nothing strange about it. It's just what you expected.
That's okay. Okay. Just figured I'd try.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, no problem.
Like, do I get it from the ones that are saying like that the clerics are being used for something else? Can I try to like insight check to see if like is it like
no, it's not that kind of thing. It's not like they're hiding what they're using. They're just being straight up and saying like, we don't know. The Jarl came down and says everybody that can use holy magic is being asked for a specific purpose, and many of them have not been seen in weeks.
Oh, okay. Cool. I will make sure to tell the group that once I meet up with them again.
Okay.
Okay. I won't like this.
From there, you do find the library in the city. For a wood, and it is one of the 3 stone buildings in the city itself that you can find. For a wood and relatively barbaric city, it is well kept and well maintained. They very clearly have a respect for knowledge of some kind. And the library, although nothing to the monastery, is pretty vast. There are tomes about just about everything you could look for. Make an investigation check.
Okay. I'm just using Roll20 because my dice. Right now my desk has been converted into remote homework, so like I don't have room in here. So just give me a second to use Roll20.
Yeah. Do your thing.
Okay. Investigation plus. Oh, I have +7. Oh, that's cool. 18.
18. You find a pretty expansive tome on the nature of dragons and draconic culture. Okay. The things for what they express about dragons themselves is not particularly new to you. It's a lot of information you already know. It's a lot of things that just sort of fill in very minor gaps, such as the amount of hibernation time a dragon can take, which may explain where it came from beneath the Great Lake and what it had been doing. But the bits that you do find very interesting are on kobolds, and specifically how kobolds operate. It's a lot of information about their fanaticism, the way they kind of hold themselves in the society they create around themselves. They're very tribal. They're very clan based. They're very easy to set against each other as they're fairly dumb. They are food and power oriented, I would say, are the 2 big things. So if not power, food. So kobolds that are in the conscription of a dragon or under the control of a dragon have to be being promised something. Food, probably in some way.
Okay.
They have the same relatively vain and greedy streaks of dragons. So if that, if they're being catered to on the power side, if something stronger than them is subjecting them, it can be supplemented with vanity and with minor gold, minor gems, things like that. Kobolds are also prestigious collectors.
Okay.
That's what you get. They're not particularly good finders, but
They like if they enter a city, like if it's being raided, they're gonna try and take a bunch anything that they think is pretty, basically, right?
oh yes,
Okay.
which is why dragons use them primarily as their scavengers and subjects.
Is there anything that they're particularly weak against or strong against?
Anything sharp, anything heavy, anything that can just make them go squish.
Okay, I was just mostly
They
looking
are
to see if they were
flimsy,
resistant
flimsy
to anything.
creatures.
Okay. Okay, I have an idea for something later. So
that you do find. Sorry, am I freaking out?
Try again.
Am I freaking out?
No.
No, I hear you fine.
Okay, weird. Kobolds that do spend a lot of time around a specific color of dragon do pick up some traits of that dragon, including minor resistance, not immunity to their chromatic element of choice.
which would be lightning.
Electricity in this case, yes.
Okay. Okay. Good to know.
Shocking.
Okay. I'm gonna look through my spells real quick because I have something I might want to do. So
Okay, we'll come back. Sai and Trev. Let's pick up where we were. Sai, what was the last thing you heard?
The cheer going up with the soldiers, with the kids.
Okay. Yes. About 25 of the pikemen do remain, though, including Jonas, who comes up to you after and says that, we do want to continue with this. We do want to maintain. We do want to help as best we can. We've sent any kid under the age of 16 back, and the rest we have asked if they want to stay. We're not forcing them in any way.
I step aside to Trev.
I mean, I'm not about to tell you to not do something if you have the passion for it. You need to recognize, like Sai is saying, how dangerous this is.
We understand, sirs, but we want to do what we can.
Then fall in, Captain.
Honors. He runs back and marshals his group.
God, I hope we don't get them all killed.
We gotta rely on the spear teams. That's all we can do.
Yeah. The group that is the least professional, at the very least, though, is for sure the archers. They all seem to be hunters, marshaled men, just people who have no real rhythm besides knowing how to string a bow.
That's fine. I got a plan for them.
Say if they're hunters, they know how to hit moving targets. It's whatever.
Yeah. They seem capable for the most part with bows. But one thing you do notice is that of the 50, probably about 30 of them only have short bows. The amount of longbow usage and longbow having is incredibly low.
Yikes.
Well, I have an idea for what we can do with them. And it will be more of a ambush type situation, but we'll come back to them in a bit.
Okay.
Are the soldiers do they look rowdy? Do they look nervous? Do they look?
Definitely seeing the children kind of released and sent back has definitely helped in getting some excitement back in them. The cavalry, pretty by the numbers, kind of locked in, marshaled up.
They're pros.
Yeah, not a problem. What's her name? Oh God, the female infantry leader. Oh God, I had it and I lost it. Taylor. Taylor's infantry seems pretty locked in. Burke's it's a bit more rowdy. From just looking through that regiment and looking through the first couple of lines, the one thing you notice off of them is that it's a lot of very hardened people as opposed to Taylor's side of things. And yeah, that's what you can get from an outside glance. Towards the front, there is one gentleman, a lot of tattoos down the arms, missing an eye, who is just glaring daggers at Trev. Just fucking locked in, racist, glaring, just not thrilled with any of this.
Good. I was hoping for one of them.
But the rest seem, rowdy, but, willing to listen at the very least.
How big is that one dude compared to Trev?
This dude probably pushes 6'5", 6'6". He is a relatively mountainous of a gentleman.
Cool.
How big is Trev?
He's got like almost 1.5 feet on me, I think.
Yeah, give or take.
He's
perfect. Okay.
And then the archer regiment is scattered and keeping lines only in theory.
In the loosest sense of the term. Okay.
Yeah. These are people who are not used to working with other people very much.
That's fine. We can use that. Okay. So I'll step up to address them.
Okay.
I'll first introduce us. My name is Sai. This is Trevathan. And we have orders from the Jarl to go kill a dragon.
There is a hush that falls over everything.
Your part in this will be to engage the enemy's troops, the kobolds, the others in their forces. I have complete faith in all of you that you'll be able to do this, but we want to make sure that you are as prepared as possible to support us. Now, who among you has experience fighting a kobold?
Most of the archers actually raise their hands. Maybe 30 to 40% of the infantry, and the cavalry all.
Okay. So they have a pretty good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Good. That's very good. So you all know that even though they're smaller, that doesn't mean they're any less dangerous. If you're not careful, they can still kill you.
The big dude up front openly spits on the ground.
I point to him. I was hoping this. Trooper, what is your name?
He just sort of looks at you and goes, I ain't gotta answer shit from you.
His name's Starship.
Okay.
His name is Racist Old Man number 1.
Well, seeing as you've just volunteered to make a point, step forward.
Kind of steps out of line.
Trevathan, you up for a little fun?
Yeah, this is pretty much what I was hoping for.
Yeah. So, you all are about to see a live demonstration of why you should never underestimate an opponent just because they're smaller than you.
The dude kind of steps onto the platform that you guys are standing on. It's not like a tall stage or anything like that, just like a mildly elevated platform so you can see into the back of the regiments. Sai, you step away. You can catch Burke like in the center of his regiment, just cracking up.
So as this little display is going on, I'm just going to be walking along the front of the line, just prattling on about how to use your size and strength and how to not underestimate. Just punctuating what's about to happen.
Okay. Trev, roll initiative. This is not going to take particularly long.
Yeah, all right. 15.
Okay. You do go first.
Cool.
He is squared up. He had a relatively large maul that he left on the ground when he saw what was going to be happening.
That was actually what I was wondering about. I was wondering if he had a weapon or not.
No, he does not think he needs one to prove to this tiny drow that, size means everything. Whatever.
Knock his arm off.
Like, I just don't know how much I want to style on this guy. Nah, whatever.
Oh, I just realized something from fucking years ago that I didn't tell you.
This ought to be good.
Oh my god. So flashing back literally like 2 years. Do you remember there was an interlude where you practiced bare knuckle with Nathan for a while in the fight pits? You got the brawler feat from that.
Oh.
So you get proficiency on unarmed attacks.
All right, well, I guess I'm just going to do that then, shall we? Actually, that would be funnier. Just for the sake of what's the word? Showing off. I would like.
Sorry, it's tavern brawler.
Even better. I have to look up what that is and does.
Increase your strength or constitution by 1.
I don't think I can do that.
I was going to say up to 20.
To a maximum of 20.
Shit.
You are proficient with all improvised weapons. Your unarmed strike uses a D4 for damage, and when you hit a creature with an unarmed strike, you can use a bonus action to attempt to grapple them.
Nice. Damn. I thought that was finally going to be how I get the 22 strength.
Yeah, sorry, buddy.
Oh, well. All right. Let me pull my dude back up because Paige is doing bad things to me.
Oh, wait. This says to a maximum of 20 because of the 5e book rules that say you can't go over 20 for any trait. We already broke that rule. You can add wherever the fuck you want.
Godlike.
Word.
Oh, okay.
So yes, you can go up to 22 strength if you want.
Oh boy.
Yeah, no, I have long since said I think that rule is dumb.
I mean, at this point, it just lets you throw more fucked up stuff at us, so...
Yeah, exactly.
That's whatever. Anyway, so yeah, what if... How far is he from me?
5 feet? 10 feet?
Oh, I mean, I would use up my bonus actions. Yeah, I'm just gonna saunter up to him and give him a little what for.
Okay, you don't even, rush. You literally,
Oh, yeah, legitimately.
basically stroll.
I'm underestimating him as well, because that's the way to do it. Oh, sick. I don't even know what my modifier is for unarmed, but that's a 19, so...
All right, so it would be...
Is it strength and proficiency? Is that what it is?
Yes.
30 then.
Okay. You hit him.
You hit through him.
Yeah, so D4...
He's a big man. He's pretty easy to hit.
Yeah. So wait, you said D4 plus strength?
Yep,
mod?
D4 plus strength.
Hitting this dude with...
Bless you.
Cool. Oh, right, my strength mod is fucking +6 now. 9. And I would like to grapple him.
Okay, make a strength check.
Whether he is conscious right now or not.
He is still conscious.
Cool. Strength check of a 17.
Okay, he rolled a 6, so he is now grappled. It is his turn. He is going to attempt to break the grapple. So make another strength check. Oh god.
Do you only get one unarmed strike?
I don't need more.
He is not a monk, so he definitely does not.
Yeah.
That's a 7 to try and break the grapple.
15.
Nope. All right, it's your turn again. Can't do shit.
Are you done?
He still has quite a bit of fight in him, and he is the racist tirade that is coming out of his mouth is things that I will not repeat, but it's there.
Cool.
Break him.
I just pause my rambling for a second and say, Trevathan, if you would please shut him up.
All right, I'd like to. I guess I haven't grappled. I'll just smack him in the back of the goddamn head.
Okay.
I'm not trying to kill this guy. I will say that much. I'm trying
Okay, fair enough.
hit him. That's a 19.
Okay, that hits.
Cool. I assumed I wasn't going to need that D4 anymore. Let me go find it again. There it is. That would be 7 more.
Okay. He is still standing, although barely and woozy.
Cool.
Oh no, you do get a second attack. It's just an attack, so yeah.
Cool.
That's what I thought.
You don't get to make an unarmed attack with your bonus action, which is
20.
the most thing. Oh, you critted him?
No.
Oh,
Modified 20
gotcha.
for another 7.
Okay, he is out cold.
Cool. Now
You club him once in the back of the head, and he falls to a knee, and you just drive your knee into the small of his back, and he just goes down like a sack of potatoes.
I'm uncomfortable with the idea that I basically just took him down like a cop, but whatever. I would assuming just leave him down like that and be like, all right,
Next.
no more of this. It probably would have been useful to have him in better fighting shape, but I feel like I had to make a point.
There's a mild chuckle that goes through the infantry. He was very clearly not liked.
Yeah.
We can take care of him. He will be fighting with us.
Can somebody see to him? Do we have somebody that can get him some medical attention? I tried to go easy, but
Some of the pages run up and drag him off the platform towards a medical tent.
cool. Now,
There's like 5 of them that are just like dragging this giant of a man through the mud.
now, obviously the difference between me and him is like years of training. That's not necessarily what you're going to be dealing with kobolds. They're not like hyper trained killers. They're just extremely aggressive and very dangerous. But if you keep your head in the game, if you keep your wits about you, that is the thing that can make the difference here. They can swarm, they can try to overwhelm you, but if you steel yourself against that, then you'll be giving yourself the best chance you can have.
Okay.
No matter how strong you are, that dude very strong. But if your mental strength is not on that same level, you're gonna get yourself killed.
The attention they are giving you is almost rapt. They are hanging on every word. And you two spend the next 4 hours or so running them through drills, having them pair up with larger opponents, going with some of the smaller opponents throughout the regiments just to get people used to it.
I picture giving like wooden swords and or sticks to like groups of like 6 of the little like the
I was thinking that too.
and just having them like swarm at them to try and just have them deal with like a bunch of little things charging at them and be like, also, if you hurt the kids, I'm gonna kill you. And have that be it.
Okay. And at least for now, day 1 seems to go well.
Okay.
I will say after about 2 hours of training, 40 armored pikemen arrive from the south that have clearly marched from another base or another barracks or something like that from the south. Duckington does find you two and tells you that these 40 were what was given to you to replace the pikemen who left. So you now have 65 pike.
I just put my hand back on his shoulder again to say, "Well done, Duckington." And just
I would say,
walk
yeah,
away.
thank you. I want to thank him for his help.
Yeah.
You're very welcome, sirs. And he goes.
As I'm walking away, I yell back, "We're still waiting on that equipment." Just keep walking.
Speaking of equipment, the other 3 of you.
Yeah.
Morgan, are you here? Morgan?
He may have stepped away for a second.
Yeah, he may have just ducked away. Ducked.
Hey.
So we'll actually go with the rest of Phaedra stuff. So what was the other thing that you wanted to do?
Well, I was feeling uneasy the last time when we were like, where are all the magic people? And then now that the clerics are saying, oh, hey, all our holy magic users have been used for something else, that's made her even more suspicious.
Mm-hmm.
So she might go back to, where were we before? We were Sai's place?
Yeah.
And I think I'm going to try and cast Commune.
Okay.
So I'm going to see if I can have an idea if I'm being too paranoid or not, basically.
Okay. What does commune do?
Answer is always yes.
The answer is always yes. So commune. You contact your deity or divine proxy, ask up to 3 questions that can be answered with a yes or no.
Okay.
I receive a correct answer for each question. They're not necessarily omniscient. I can receive it unclear if it pertains to information that lies beyond the deity's knowledge.
Okay. So you open a channel to Celestian and
Yes. And I'm trying to think of how to phrase this.
call him up on the spirit walkie-talkie.
Would it? So I probably would have, before doing that, stopped by where Sai and Trev were to give them the information that I found about the kobolds.
They are like a mile and a half to 2 miles outside the city.
Okay, never mind.
They're a distance away.
Never mind then. Okay. I'm just trying to think of. Just let me know if I have my information backwards because it has been a bit.
Yeah.
So I'll ask.
I'll also just tell you if you already know the answer to that.
Yeah. Is the Jarl working with the dragon? Whatever his name was that we said. Just so it's specific.
Yeah.
The blue dragon. Whatever his name is.
You should also probably specify which Yarrow. All right, there you go.
No. Wait, okay, so not working with. Okay. Trying to think. All right. Did she have a name? Did we get a name from her specifically, not just her title?
Just her title.
Damn it. Okay. I'm just wondering if that's going to throw off my questions. Okay. Are the people being taken for their magic still in the city?
No.
Okay. Are the people being taken for their magic still alive?
Unclear.
Oh. Okay. So Phaedra's gonna be like,
as you pull yourself out of the connection and have a minor freak out, you hear behind you a "Huh?"
Oh no. Oh, chicken man. Oh,
Chicken man.
I've forgotten his name. Sorry.
Arthur.
Please, make sure no one sees that you can do magic. Please.
I really hope this is just a chicken.
Oh god, is it just a chicken?
You turn around and it is just a male rooster.
Okay.
Which is not him.
Oh, okay.
He turns into a small white female chicken.
Why is there a rooster in here?
I don't know. Someone left the window open.
Now you're talking to a chicken.
I leave the rooster door open just in case he wants to pop by.
Okay.
Really losing it there.
Okay. It might not be as bad as I'm thinking, but that just has not helped her paranoia at all.
Okay. And now you get to sit at home alone while the other 3 of you.
I'm gonna try to find Nyx, because I know generally where Sai and Trev are. Generally.
Yeah. All right. You head out into the streets of Briek to go and try and track down where your other team members may have gone.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of the other 3 of you, you have left the others in the relatively central point of the city and are now off looking for supplies or ways of supply. The things that you notice walking down the streets is that many of the shops that were very clearly once shopped are boarded, dark, and not operating. You see very, very, very few people. During your hour and a half of wandering the city like this, you see maybe 20 people total. You do find one or two. Say again.
Which one? These ones.
Oh.
My dad wants to say hi. Nope.
Hi.
Way. There he is.
Hi.
How you doing?
Good.
Good. How are you?
All right. How's everybody making out?
Oh, you know.
Great.
Weird
Say
times.
We're playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Later.
Hi, Dad.
Bye.
Bye.
It's about the reaction I expected.
Yeah.
Yep. So, about 20 people total. You do find some food stalls that are still open and selling food to the populace. It's a lot of dried fruits, root vegetables, a lot of breads, and that's basically it.
Okay.
Not a lot of meat within the stalls. You do find one or two stalls that might have a rabbit or two, but nothing particularly substantial.
Okay.
We're gonna leave those alone too, aren't we?
Yeah. I don't know if canonically Nyx is vegan, but I. And I do think Arabelle is canonically vegan.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Armil is canonically vegan, if not vegetarian. I'm not sure which.
Marlon, my bad. Yeah. Anyway. Okay.
You're muted, Morgan.
I'll eat anything.
Yeah.
Not these fucking rabbits, though.
I mean, they've eaten meat in front of you before, Armil. Like, it's happened.
I know.
So like you said, this is like a market or shops?
There's stalls. There's stalls set up in a very shabby market.
Oh, it's like a market, but
yeah. Any building-based shops that you've passed have been closed, dark,
boarded up.
shut. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Can I walk up to just one of the people that looks maybe friendliest?
Sure. You find an older woman who's tending a stall who looks at you.
Hi. My name is Nyx. What's your name?
It's a very my name is Patricia.
Hi, Patricia. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Thank you. I just had a couple questions. As you can probably tell, we're not from around here necessarily. I mean, I'm not from super far, but we're not from around here. And right now we're looking for supplies. We're going to be going out and trying to stop the dragon that's in the area.
Immediate panic. There's a dragon? What do you mean there's a dragon?
Don't worry.
The metaphorical dragon, you know.
Don't worry, but yeah, like it's a phrase where we come from.
The
So good.
dragon. Don't worry. I just
So
think we're going to be going out trying to make some things better. As I can see, it doesn't seem like right now you're not a lot of options in the market. Hoping to change some of that.
Are you going to bring the people back?
Oh yeah, that's the goal.
With
Oh my
no
God.
promises. But
Well, I said that's the goal.
the goal is, yes, to help as many people as we can, but we just don't know right now exactly. We're just looking to put ourselves in like the best position that we can for helping you guys. So I was just wondering if you knew any good supplies that we could get our hands on to help, because we're going to be having a lot of people coming with us to try and fix this. I don't know if suppliers we could go to, or if just like what the best options are.
I mean, it's been a hard year and a half. You see, most of our farmers, most of our hunters have been conscripted up. What supplies we get is from the very few commercial farms that are making for the city at this point, and soil hasn't been good. We, and she sort of gestures at herself and her cart. We actually travel in from 4 miles out, and there's no one left. There's almost no one left. It used to be better. Back when the supply chains were open, it was much better. But this is all Briek has anymore. This is all we have anymore.
Okay. All right.
Hand on the shoulder.
I appreciate.
I'm very sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
Thank you. How are you? If you excuse my asking, what is the metaphorical dragon?
It's just that the town nearby is having a hard time, and it's just, ripple effects that
Oh,
happen
yes.
when one place is struggling. It, as you were just saying, when one place is struggling, it affects everywhere around it. And we're really hoping that if we can help out this place, that it will really make it better for everyone else in the area.
That's
Hell of a save.
yeah.
God, Nyx is like the nicest person.
Right?
Marlon,
Occasionally it becomes very clear that she's
of that goes,
person in our
like a metaphor.
Incredibly. She's the best of us.
She sort of the woman sort of nods and goes, "Yes. I've had friends. Hasper? Are you talking about Hasper?
That's the name of it, right?
Yes.
Yes, I am talking about Hasper.
She goes, yes. We used to get such wonderful goods from there to be able to sell. People would come into the market and light it up with joy. I'm terribly sorry to hear that it's having a hard time as well.
Yeah.
I hope the long winter treats them well.
Yeah, me too. So there's nothing that we can really get from here. This is it.
Yeah, the moral of the story is we could really use some help in order to help.
Uh-huh.
That's what I was saying. It's like, in order for us to help you, we need help.
Yes, we can't. I don't think there's much more that any of the farmers here can do.
Is there besides the Jarl, is there like a person whose job it is to kind of supervise the market or supervise trade or
Visioner of sorts?
There used to be, but I think they were called away and conscripted as well. Everything goes to the Jarl now.
Okay.
That's a weird phrasing.
Do
Do you know that person's name?
It was I think it was Counselor Duckington. I think was the name.
Fucking tastic.
Wonderful.
Duckington. I want to make sure I got that right. Duckington.
Yes.
Good.
Careful with autocorrect on that one.
Well,
Yeah, that's going to be rough.
we are doing some work with the conscripts here too. That's who we need the supplies for, is to really bolster up the conscripts. So maybe we'll see if we can find this Lord?
Counselor.
Counselor Duckington?
Lord Master Counselor Duckington.
Yes.
With the name like Duckington, I'm sure we could just ask for Duckington.
Yeah.
He is an officious prick. He'd probably answer that title.
It's me, Duckington.
Wait, hold on, hang on, take a pause here. Morgan, you realize who this is, right?
Duckington?
Yeah.
No.
It's the dickhole commander that Cy and Trev were talking to before.
Oh shit! Right. Great.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll see if we can find him.
Did not catch that guy's name.
Might have more information.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Patricia,
Yes.
thank you very much for talking with us.
Thank you. May the long winter pass well.
You too.
You too. trying to think of what like the response.
What's the?
But
You know
it
how we
sounds
said?
really
Also
awkward in
with
my head.
you.
There,
Yeah,
So you
no,
know how
we're
we
not
said
gonna
the
with your
metaphorical
spirit.
dragon?
Yeah,
I'm gonna need to know what
you.
the other half of that.
Thank
phrase
you, my fellow Catholic.
Hate it.
maybe there's a phrase that like your community would have said that you would have.
is. That's what I was asking. Was like, you know how we said
Same
the
to you, bro.
the whole metaphorical dragon thing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need the other half of your phrase.
Nick's the metaphorical dragon.
Can our new group name be the Metaphorical Dragon?
That's a nickname for Nick's at this point.
Yeah.
Everybody, open up your Animal Crossing and change your descriptions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't fit. I don't have that unlocked yet.
Phaedra, you're able to find the other three relatively easily as well.
Oh, good. Okay. Hi. When you're done, would like to have a chat back at the house.
I think we're about done for now. We actually were just gonna swing by the barracks, right?
Wherever-
Is that where the conscripts are? Barracks?
They're at the training ground about 2 miles outside the city.
We're gonna swing by the training ground and see if we can find this guy that apparently used to be in charge of like supplies and trade and stuff.
He's a duck.
Oh,
He's
what?
not a literal duck.
Just a fucking chicken, man. Now, I'm a duck, man.
Bro, never change.
We're gonna see if he might have any more information on supplies because they don't really have any supplies that we could even use. So,
I mean, that makes sense if there's a war that's preventing trade going in and out, I suppose. Yeah.
yes. They don't seem to know there's a war, by the way, or a dragon, so don't mention
Not a
that.
clue.
Did the Jarl specify to you guys to not say that there's?
Not that I remember.
Nope.
No,
I don't
the
think
Jarl,
so.
the,
Yeah.
the Jarl was aware of the dragon problem.
Yes, the Jarl knew, and while they did not seem to enjoy the conversation, they had the conversation with us. But
Yeah.
I don't
They-
think he ever said, by the way, no one in my town knows about this. I
They're
don't know.
lying by omission, is my opinion.
I don't know. But
I mean, they might argue like don't want to panic the masses, but that's
Yeah, I can
sort of
see
sketchy.
Yeah.
it is definitely sketchy, but she was in general very sketchy, so I'm not super
This all
surprised.
sounds very familiar.
Yeah. Yeah. I got some.
So
Like
let's go to the
back to
training
the
grounds.
size house. Yeah.
Yeah, let's go to the training grounds, see if we can have a conversation with Counselor
The
Duckington.
duck man.
Yep.
Would we
And-
recognize that name?
Do we what?
Would we remember that name, Gary?
So
Oh, of course you do.
yeah, I don't know why we wouldn't.
Okay. Because
And then
I don't remember.
I mean, Ducky introduced himself to you guys as just Ducky.
yeah,
Oh.
like we didn't
Oh.
know him as Duckington that I remember, but I imagine, yeah,
Okay. All right.
probably not a common name.
Fair enough.
Okay.
So
Cool.
we'll go do that, and then we can kind of maybe all kind of meet and talk about whatever needs to be discussed.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys make your way outside the city and walk the path to the barracks, or to the training grounds, I should say. You see Sai and Trev leading the soldiers through various sort of stuff.
Drills and
The
whatnot.
the guard at the gate looks at you, and at this point, this guard has just sort of given up with his day. There are people running in and out. They're like, shit's weird, yo. And doesn't even bat an eye as the four of you make your way in. You see Trev and Sai standing to the side having a discussion about something. I don't know.
As we do.
And make your way over to them.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Hey, Nix. How's your day been? Productive, I hope.
Vaguely depressing, but not bad.
Less than, but also depressing. Yeah.
Comes a break, really.
How's it
I mean,
going here?
vaguely depressing is what they go for.
Yeah.
I didn't turn into a duck though.
I beat a guy
I'm
unconscious.
sorry?
That was cool.
Was it a concern?
I beat a man unconscious.
It's not a duck man.
Like
So-
He was being really racist, though.
that's fair.
Oh, right on. High five.
So I hope that things went better with the conscripts than with trying to get supplies for the conscripts because there are no supplies to be had.
You know, I think things are looking up over on this end. Like,
I'm far more encouraged than
Good to hear.
walked out here.
Yeah, like
It's
these. We've
really
got,
good to hear.
they were a little bit of a rough start. We had to get some stuff figured out, but I actually feel pretty good about where we're
Yeah.
at here.
That's
Yeah.
all.
I know which end is the pointy end.
Yeah, we
We-
had to. In short, Sai had to send some child soldiers home, which good move, bro.
Oh,
I
good.
respect that
Oh,
a
okay.
lot.
Figured the group would
Um,
appreciate that. Yeah,
Like, I just want to make sure everybody knows that Sai's being a good dude.
appreciate
Wow.
that.
But yeah, like now that got taken care of, we might have a little bit less than we otherwise would, but we're not going to be like awful, so that's
Yeah.
good.
And Trev had to beat a guy unconscious, and we took turns threatening and embarrassing this really officious asshole named Duckington.
Hey,
That's our duck man.
that's
Oh,
our
you're
duck
looking
man.
for a duck man. All right.
Yeah,
Have you found out what he does or what he did for a living? Because he certainly isn't a soldier.
yeah. No
Apparently,
shit.
he used to be a counselor for the city in charge of
Bureaucrat.
some kind of trade or supplies acquisition, something of that sort.
That makes sense.
Why we were hoping we could maybe speak with him to know if he knew of any supplies that maybe the general populace did not.
It's worth a try.
Yeah.
He seems to be pretty, or like the one good thing I'll say about him is that he seemed well connected.
Yeah.
So if anything, he can help you with that.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Still around?
Listen,
Sai seems to be able to just call him over whatever he wants. So
I just yell out Duckington. See?
Oh, duck boy.
From like 50 feet away, you hear the clanking of armor as Duckington, who throughout the day has slowly gotten some of his precociousness back. Still relatively wilted, but getting back up on his high horse very slowly.
incredible.
Makes his way over to you. The four of you see an older gentleman with long silver hair and a well-kept, well-manicured silver mustache in armor that has not been touched by literally anything. Probably not
You the
even
duck
rain.
boy?
That's Commander Duckington to you, and who the hell might you be?
Yeah.
Duck are you?
They're
I just-
friends of ours.
I yell at him, Duckington. These are our
Yes,
companions.
sir.
We'll treat them with respect.
It's, of course, sir. What may I do to assist?
Would I
I'm just
would
messing
I
with
put
you.
would I
Duckington.
put together
Oh, sure.
who this guy is?
For sure.
Do you have a son?
Yes, why?
Oh, I was really hoping for it. I have no son.
It's,
I
the
feel-
way he delivers his yes, why is very, what the fuck do you know, and why are you asking me?
Hang on, I need a timeout now. Who the fuck is his son? Who's Ducky?
It's Dom's character from when he.
Do you
gets-
remember?
Oh, right. Fuck. Okay. Yeah. Yep. Okay.
I
Go
would.
on, proceed.
I
Fantastic.
feel like we met him.
This makes a lot of
Was
sense.
was he drowning in a boat somewhere? That damned reject.
No, actually, he was helping to create an extremely profitable trade route with a people who hadn't seen a lot of trade in several centuries.
You said
Really?
your
Because
word.
he ran away from home 20 years ago saying he was going to become a pirate or some dumb shit like that, and I've never heard from him again.
Oh, wow.
He's almost there, I think.
That's a pirate's life.
I'm trying to make this guy feel bad because I instantly dislike him.
As you should. He's terrible.
Regardless
Um,
of like how much I actually liked Ducky, like I'm just trying to make
Oh
this
yeah, Ducky was great.
If I remember correctly, Ducky did stand beside us as we fought some enemies.
He
correct?
did, indeed.
He did.
So it sounds like your son has more combat experience than you do.
We must be talking of different people because the man
Seems
I
like the apple
knew
actually does fall far from the tree, except the tree
Didn't
was
even-
the broken one.
didn't even know how to stab an apple with a fork, let alone use a sword.
Don't worry. We have a weird history
Can
of
I-
dragging
can I
your
just-
family into deadly situations.
I'm just gonna walk up to him a little bit
Okay,
and
you do tower over him. By
I
the
do.
way.
I'm gonna use thaumaturgy just to make myself look a little more just in the eyes and only so he can
I'm just like
Okay.
laughing at
So
this
good.
because like he's
You're
already
fine.
had such a day.
Yeah,
I
no.
know. I
Just
like.
minor Like
Okay.
it's a cantrip, so
Yeah, no, I know.
No. I just think it's funny because I full on drew on this dude like a day ago.
yeah.
He's having such a day.
Yeah. Just to make it almost look like he couldn't even like a flicker.
Yep.
You know?
Okay. Yep.
Okay.
And that's it. You're just gonna look at him.
Yeah.
Glare.
I'm just kinda
he
So Nick,
powers
so
backwards,
Nick is
basically.
like fretting terribly from the ground.
Weird. I can't imagine why.
And she's like trying to like wedge herself like between
Okay.
and like push back on Phaedra's like leg.
Okay. You lean into her
Skid marks in the
knees.
dirt. Just
Like, guys, stop being dicks, please.
And she's trying to be like, so we need a favor. Nice to meet you.
He is like eyes locked on Phaedra, but just goes, "It's a pleasure."
Sorry for the very strange circumstances, but I was told that you were the best person to talk to for the thing that I need help with.
I'll just kind of like pick up Nyx and put her on my shoulder so that she can actually talk to him.
and then Nick glares.
I'll be the bad cop. It's fine.
He looks at you now in the eye. Just he almost like gives you one eye each.
And
Almost.
It's impressive.
my
like-
eyes are back to normal now. So
Just like
Marlene is
like,
terrified.
almost staring in between you, just so like he's looking at like half your face and half Phaedra's face. As he goes, it's yes, trade and acquisitions. That's Lord Duckington. What can I help you with?
Awesome. That's exactly what I need help with. So this militia?
Sure.
I don't know exactly what the technical term
We haven't named it yet.
Yeah, would be. Militia seems
Hey, wait. They're the Mighty Ducks.
oh my god.
No,
Damn it!
no.
Quack.
I was really pulling for like Trev's action
Pretty good.
squad.
Ah.
I'm joking.
That's pretty good.
The Mighty Ducks. That's amazing.
You hear Burke from a distance. Just go.
I like the Mighty Ducks.
Sold. Get some flags printed, Duckington.
I read these. Have you heard of a fabric called nylon?
Anyway,
No. This militia, obviously, you know pretty well. We're about to march. We really wanted to have you guys as well supplied as we could, but when we did some searching through the city, we did not find much of anything. But the townspeople said that you were the person to talk to that might have some answers for maybe something we could do for supplies.
the kingdom of Briek is giving everything it can to its wonderful conscripted soldiers. If the city has more to give, I don't know about it at this point. I'm sorry. I'm truly sorry.
Yeah, but you might listen. Take a breath. It's okay. I come around with the corner of them.
Uh-huh.
I'll back
It's okay.
I'll
It's
back
okay.
up a step.
Yeah,
Okay.
if we're going to be leading the Mighty Ducks in the battle, then we want to make sure that they're properly taken care of.
Do you
Ducks
have
do
any?
not instill fear. Ducks do not instill fear.
It doesn't matter.
Bro.
Okay.
It doesn't matter.
Kobolds, they might.
Okay. Would they know what a duck is?
Exactly. So what's the problem?
That's fair, I suppose.
Do you have any contacts that you could provide to us, perhaps?
I used to, before the Jarl decided to cut off all trade outside the kingdom. Yes.
Marlene digitates a Rolodex. I'm gonna need that.
Wait, why did the Jarl do that?
I don't know. To
How long? How
be honest
long?
with you, and never questioned it.
How long ago was that? The cutoff.
About a year and a half ago, maybe. Why? It's
Well,
not important.
Does that coincide with like when shit started going down?
It's around when you last left the city, when things were starting to go weird. It's around when. Yes. Short answer: yes.
Do you,
why wouldn't you want trade with other cities, though? You don't think that that's strange?
I didn't.
But
Well,
Now
now
that
that
you
you're
mention
asking, now that you're asking it, it seems very bizarre. But Briek has always been a very insular kingdom. We kept our trade to as minimal as possible.
What
And did our best to be as self-sufficient as we can. We never wanted to be in the debt of another people of any kind.
is that why you
Sorry,
cut ties with
sorry,
the dwarves?
that came off way more racist than I actually intended. I meant more.
Do you? I can't remember. What's the y'all's name again? And I'm like trying to ask.
Vulgrim.
I'm asking that to the group.
Oh,
To
yeah.
try and get him to be like provide the name.
Jarl Vulgrim?
Is that the female y'all?
It's both.
They're married, right?
Yes, and when you become Jarl here in the city, you give up any personal connection you have for the title and for Briek. So they, the collective, are Jarl Vulgrim.
And how long have they been ruled?
10 years.
Okay.
Okay.
How do you differentiate between the two if you're talking about one versus the other?
You don't. They operate as a unit. If you talk of one, you speak of the other. They make
Doesn't
decisions
that
together.
just get very confusing? Like, what if you're having a conversation and you're trying to discuss? That's just very strange.
It's incredibly rare.
We're not here to
in the city.
judge.
I am
It's incredibly.
I'm trying my best here.
He looks at you, and this is actually just the DM talking. It would be incredibly rare in this city for someone to be talking of one of the Jarls as opposed to just both of them.
Okay.
The idea, perhaps, the idea that one of them operating alone is a very new idea.
Okay. Thank you.
Well, that actually leads me to my next question is, so where's the male Jarl? We've only ever heard of the female. Where's her husband?
Somewhere within the Longhouse, one would assume.
Indeed.
He's not
So
been seen in some time, but
When's the last time you saw him?
Please say a year and a half. Please say a year and a half.
about a year ago now.
Okay. All right.
The Jarl has stated that their partner has. Well, I shouldn't. It's not important.
No, it is.
Please, Duckington,
Oh,
we're here to support Briek. We need to know everything. And I'll try to just convince him.
I'll step
Roll a
further.
Persuasion check.
I'll step further back.
Damn time.
It's a low DC because this man is fucking broken.
You ruined this man.
I have advantage.
Broken to start.
You do have advantage because your sword is sheathed.
That's an 18 plus like 6 or
Okay.
12 or something.
He sort of sighs and says, well, when the counselors were all disbanded and all decisions are made within the Longhouse, we were told that the Jarl's partner had fallen ill of something, and we don't know what. That's why we requisitioned all of the clerics to head to the Longhouse to work on treatment.
And you, if anyone has a high enough perception, you'll notice that Danger looks slightly miffed. And he's kind of like, okay.
All right. Well,
Womp noises.
if you think of anything you can do as far as supplies goes for the army, but I understand that it seems like supplies are short, then we would appreciate it. But
Ducky kind of sighs and looks at you and says, look, between you and me, you all and me, I guess, Briek can't sustain this war on two fronts anymore. I don't understand why we're trying. We barely have enough resources to feed our city, let alone 2 wars.
Forgive me, 2 wars? What's the other war?
He immediately looks panicked. Just full Hagrid, oh God, I should not have said that. Look at his eyes.
listen,
This
do
is.
not feel like you cannot tell us these things. These are the things that we need to know to help. What do you mean 2 wars?
There is a conflict happening in our South Shores that is drawing a lot of the resources away from the city. That's all I know. They have not put me there. They have not told me anything more, just that something is happening to the south and all trained and viable soldiers would be sent there. Before this dragon thing, it was fine. Our conscripts were able to step in as guards. We had enough supplies, but then they kept asking for more, and slowly the city drained, and we started pulling from everywhere, and now there's a dragon, and Briek can't sustain itself alone anymore. We need outside help, and I'm afraid that any contacts that I had are either dead or won't help us. We need help, and I'm truly mean that.
Did you have any contacts with the the Golden Forges?
You mean the dwarves in Drisselheim?
Yeah.
Certainly, they used to be our most popular trade partner, but
Was that also cut off a year and a half or something ago?
that was the first domino to fall. Yes.
Hmm.
Well, technically the second. Our interactions with Lathander were the first to go. There was a meeting of sorts between the Jarls and the heads of the city there that did not end well.
That explains a lot.
Hmm.
Okay. So who? I know you said you don't know much about that conflict, but who? I mean, even to the group, who is in the South Shore? Who would they be fighting?
Like if we looked at the map, generally speaking.
Yeah. If he doesn't know personally.
Oh,
Yeah, let me find the map for you.
Like,
Oh,
I think it's over there. Hang on.
I was gonna say, did I save it? I don't think I did.
Hi, I am a map. So Briek is here.
Did you send us a picture of this at some point?
Yes.
I think he
Yeah, not the colored one, I don't think, but maybe even that one.
Big.
It's very nice.
You
Yeah.
sent-
Isn't it so
Yeah,
nice?
Can we make you big? I don't even. Can I like?
Yes, you can.
There we go.
Uh-huh. So Lathander, Briek is here. Hasper is here.
Uh-huh.
There is this village to the south
Mhm.
that is called Nehet.
Okay.
Right? Oh, okay.
Is there
But
any,
that's it.
there's nothing else to the south?
I mean, and then ocean.
Yeah.
You
Like,
said South Shores.
Yes, the South Shores.
Okay.
and the hat is right on the shore. So I don't know if he means. So can I? So, Counselor Duffington, do you mean that they're going to Nehet?
Oh, sorry.
Yep.
Originally, the what we heard and before things got odd was that there was a sorcerer in Nehet. So a regiment went down to see what all the fuss was about and why news of a sorcerer was coming back to us. And that was it.
Okay. But then she just started sending troops.
Started sending more and more. And we set up a garrison halfway between here and there. I don't know if it's in the city. I don't know if it's south of the city or town of Nehet, whatever you want to call it.
Are any of the soldiers?
Is
Sorry,
Nehet a human city?
Yes, Nehet was part of the Brakian Empire.
Okay.
Was.
Well, I don't know if the city's still there.
Fair. Okay. So, Okay, so that happened first, and then the dragon came?
Yes, the dragon is very recent.
The dragon is recent. Okay. Okay, so but even with the dragon here, she's not ceasing sending people in the head.
So,
No.
so Gary,
Yes. Yes.
so timeline wise, for my notes, year and a half ago, cut off contact. Year ago, last time we saw male Jarl. When? That's not helping me, Gary.
Around this year and a half.
Around the year and a half trade route thing.
Correct.
Okay, so then
Okay.
that's south. And then the dragon, how long was that?
Like maybe a month and a half to 2 months.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Duckington, how any of the soldiers that we have, the cavalry, the senior pikemen that you sent us, have any of them served in this war, to your knowledge?
No, that's why they're here.
Okay.
Has anyone who was at the South Shore come back?
No.
Pikemen are the kids.
Right, but the new pikemen came from the south.
Yeah,
No,
that
they
is
were-
correct.
Oh, they were?
That is
Yes,
correct.
the ones that he just called for came from the
Can we
south.
ask?
That was what
Can
I
we
was-
talk with the leader of that crew?
Wait, how many days has it been since you summoned them? I'm confused. Time.
They were able to get here in about 2.5 hours.
All right, so they're not. In
No, but they may have been destined for there.
Right. Or they might know people. They might know more than Duck.
Yeah,
Exactly.
no more than what we have right now, for sure.
Okay.
Including their commander.
Yeah, talk with the commander, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm interested in here.
As you guys sort of settle on that, Duckington kind of leans forward and goes, "So I do have a question for you all, now that we're all laying all our cards on the table.
Mm-hmm.
I heard from one of the guards within the city that 6 strangers appeared out of an old teleportation circle. Was that you?"
Can I tell if this dude's like trying to fish information for like his
Oh,
own
he is.
gain, or if it's like
He is fishing for information. It's hard to know for what
okay.
for which of those two purposes.
I
What kind of duck are you?
I'm yes, it was us.
Morgan just spit beer against the wall.
Seltzer, but it was close. Yeah.
Excellent.
Jesus Christ.
This is the content I crave.
What kind of duck are you?
He looks at you and says, "Well, wherever you came from and whatever that teleportation circle connects to, I would assume that you were then the ones who talked to the guards, who had a letter of introduction.
We are.
Mm-hmm.
If that letter of introduction is true, then on behalf of the city of Briek, I, Councillor Duckington, order you 6 to requisition whatever you need from wherever that introduction came from to keep us alive."
Excellent.
wait, from wherever it came from, though.
Yeah, so
I
you're
don't
trying to-
I don't want it to know.
Yeah, no, he's
And
asking
this-
us to send help to wherever it was we were coming from.
Get help
Get
from
help
there.
from wherever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And he is asking in such a way so he has plausible deniability.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Nick's brain is confused.
So
You want help?
just to
I
be
know.
Okay, help.
We help.
just to be clear, how long did they tell us it would take for the dwarves to get to Break?
2 weeks or something, right?
Yeah, like 2
Yeah.
weeks or so.
Okay.
So wait, so it was. So the conscripts was something with 5 days, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's
It
a
looks
5
like-
days march from here to
Okay,
Asper.
but it's not
Um,
necessarily like we
For
could
y-
wait 2 weeks. I would ideally not like to, but if it would be best to, we could.
you
I don't
could.
think we can.
Think of it this way: if you guys on foot went to Hasper, it'd probably take you about a day and a half of hard, travel.
Yeah, travel.
With an army, or even with an army of 500, it takes a fair bit longer. So because of that, there's the extra time. 2 weeks is a long time, and you could potentially wait for them to come over land if you want. Land and sea, I guess. If you want, it's up to you.
Could we send a message to them to let them know that like we may we may be heading there sooner rather than later.
So
And
I don't
tell them
think-
to meet us there, maybe? I don't
I
know.
don't think this exact part of the conversation is something we should be having in front of Ducky, so
No,
that he
I'm-
can remain
Yeah.
with his plausible deniability.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. I mean, we haven't been super specific yet, besides times. Anyway.
We're all in fiction in a group huddle.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fair. Okay.
Okay. So I'll tap my nose. I get it, Ducky. So, okay.
Ducky,
We need to make some choices, and we need some time to discuss. But I've super appreciated how honest you've been with us. It really
absolutely.
helps us help you. How honest you've been.
Duggington, are there other counselors or former counselors who feel the same way as you do?
No. Any of the other former counselors, like myself, have been conscripted out and sent away.
Okay.
So they may be down south as well. But I can tell you with sure focus that, and he now looks at you, Trev, and this is the first time he's looked at you the entire length of this conversation. I have my trepidations about working with cultures that aren't human. But I understand
It's a minefield. Careful.
And I was
But
going to say, like, the four of us here are just going to, like,
No, don't worry.
Yep.
We've already worked this out.
Yeah.
He's doing his
But
best.
but I understand the need and purpose. I am master of trade and coin, and that is good wherever it comes from. Others in my former position or similar positions were not so well inclined.
Listen,
um,
we can change hearts and minds later. Right now, we need to save a city.
Yes.
And that's
Well
why
put.
I'm asking what I'm asking.
Okay. So again, thank you. We'll talk to you soon.
Mhm.
But we need some time to kind of regroup with all this new information and decide the best course of action.
Very well. I will go back to my tent now. If
And lest we forget the equipment that our troops need.
he looks at you and just says, I'm trying. That's what I just asked for you.
Just saying.
He goes.
Si's like, don't forget the drugs.
Oh, he says requesting. Oh, okay. Now I understand what he says.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
we should go back to your home.
We should
Yeah.
go back and brainstorm for a bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
By this time, the soldiers are released for today.
Okay. The 5 captains run and let their people know that they can go back to the barracks and
Yeah.
get
So
get some grub and rest.
I do say to the archer captain that I want to speak with him the next
Connor.
day. Connor, yes. That I want to speak to that Connor the next day.
They nod and let you know they'll be available.
Awesome.
And the 6 of you make your way back into the city and back over to Sai's house without issue.
Okay.
Arthur is not there, chicken or otherwise. There is still a rooster in your living room.
Hell yeah.
It's not Arthur, by the way.
Why is Henry in my living room? What is going on here?
here?
Is he your
What?
pet?
No, he's a free chicken. We don't keep things here.
Hell yeah.
Because he was here when I got back, and I'm okay.
Well, yeah, that's what the chicken door's for.
There's
I'm
chicken.
sorry, what? And then
Yeah.
It's like the Diddy door. You
Yeah.
own chicken home through the chicken door. Shout outs to the Chris Guthrie show.
Okay.
And then I just like I'm fucking with you, and I just pick up the rooster. I'm like I have no idea what this thing's doing in my
You
house.
throw it out the open window and
We
close
left
the
the
window.
window open.
Okay.
The fucking Diddy door.
So good.
Lord.
Oh my god.
Gary, I'm gonna need a lower thirds that says no chickens were harmed during the production.
Yeah.
He's fine. He's out there.
Okay, so
Phaedra had some things she wanted to share with us.
yes, I just wanted to make sure we weren't near other people.
Yes. You share everything that you would like to.
Yeah. So
sure.
yeah, the questions that I'd asked went to the different temples, finding out that the clerics were sent apparently to the Longhouse, but yes, they're not in the city still, and it's unclear if they're alive.
So, but that's what Ducky said, right? He said they went to the Longhouse too.
He said they were supposedly they were summoned to the Longhouse.
Okay, which is also the information you got when you went to the temples.
Yes, they said they were needed for their holy magic for something, but they don't know what, and they haven't been seen since.
Okay.
And so because of that, that's when I asked Celestine to help me to see if, like, maybe if they were alive, if they're still here. My guess is if they're not in the city, they might be being used for whatever the heck is going on in the south.
I mean, but we haven't seen the male Jarl.
No.
Right.
I also asked if she was working with the dragon. I said the Jarl, so I don't know if that's going to be confusing. That's why I was trying to get her name.
It is unclear whether those two things are connected. To what degree those two things are connected.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was turning into a dragon.
Can't rule it out.
Not impossible.
Not impossible.
And she's like, we got to close the borders because I'm worried that my husband's gonna wreak havoc on everybody.
Yeah. I'm honestly
Can't rule any of that out.
Jarl hasn't been seen for like a year and a half, and the dragon didn't show up.
A year. The dragon has been here for months?
A month.
Right?
A month and a half.
Oh, okay.
Very recent development.
Yeah, in terms of timeline, we've got year and a half is when they closed off trade routes / started to get rid of like these counselors and like made it so only the Jarl like would be in charge. Then a year ago started not seeing the male Jarl. Then a month ago, dragon.
One thing that you don't have on there that is important to keep in mind, that year and a half also coincides with the first soldiers sent in a hit.
Oh right, yeah. Like they were sent to the south. Supposedly there was that meeting with Lathander. When was the stuff with Lathander happening? A year and a half.
Yeah, give or take a little bit more than that as well.
Okay, because I'm just trying to get a timeline. Because
a year and a half as like a bubble, but it might have been like a couple of weeks or months before.
Yeah, but it was
the
before the city was under siege.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So we have a lot of weird pieces, and they don't fully make sense altogether.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we just need to make some choices with what we've got. Yeah. So if we contact Jerzelheim, how should we go about that?
I mean, I can send a message.
Hey, real quick, honest question. Could we use the teleportations
I
to
was
get them here?
wondering about this too. I don't know if we should though, because I feel like if obviously we could not transport everyone all at once, and if we start the process and the Jarl finds out, she won't be happy.
Yeah.
We could
I'm
use-
worried about anything that could be taken by the administration here as an act of war by us against them.
Yeah.
I feel like if we meet with them outside of the city,
Right.
kind of argue that we were trying to be respectful, but if we literally have them come in through the basement, I feel like that would be
shitty. That would be extra shitty. Yeah.
I guess, but at the same time, we could have them bring like food and supplies so that like, people in the city aren't going to get starved out.
That's what I'm thinking. It's like,
If I understood Ducky right, he wants us to get equipment and supplies from them, but
Mhm.
so.
to get
What I'm
troops to
thinking
come
is,
in would be impossible through there.
what if we have just like one or two people? Because I assume there needs to be. We couldn't just transport inanimate things, right?
You could.
Sure you could,
Just over
yeah.
there.
Well, then why don't we ask them to, on the transporter, maybe put some supplies and then mobilize their troops physically to walk.
I
Yeah.
agree.
I think that's a
And
That seems reasonable.
We need the troops outside
And
the
we
city
need the
somewhere.
troops a
On
fair
the way.
distance from the city.
So
Yes.
here's my other concern with this. The way the Jarl was sounding, correct me if I'm wrong on this, Gary. The way the Jarl was sounding, there was a definite timeline. She was not sure the city would be there after like a week.
Yes.
So
Ours,
whatever-
my city.
No.
break. So-
Basically, because this is a month and a half ago, I will just reiterate the talking points of that conversation. The Jarl made reference to the fact that the city is on very uneven ground, and they weren't confident how long they could offer assistance. That's why they gave you the like, I will mobilize troops for you and have them go. You weren't even sure that was going to happen. The fact that this was actually like people were prepared and they had heard that they were being mobilized is surprising almost. But they had made reference to the fact that they seemed uneasy of how long the city could last. It originally seemed that they were talking about the dragon moving south and taking an attack on the city itself.
But we don't know if that's actually what they were fearing.
Right. It
Correct.
could be whatever is in the south.
Okay. So,
so-
is your concern that while we're gone, the city will be attacked?
Yes. And I'm kind of concerned for both parts. One, I don't think either place has much time, we'll say. Being under the thumb of a dragon like that, I don't think they're, safe unless you can get in contact with them and prove otherwise and like have them assure us that it's, they're not going to be destroyed anytime soon. But we also need to figure out what the hell's going on in Break. We need to figure out what the male Jarl is, what's up with him, what enemy is coming for these people, and how to save people. And if that means bring an army from Drisselheim to help them, then that's what we do.
So be it. Yeah.
We could, so no matter what, we have like 5 days here or whatever, even if we're going to go meet the army.
We have a
We
surprise
have,
travel from Break.
yeah.
Right, I understand that.
And which
First
they
of all,
did-
the army takes like 2 weeks,
Yeah.
so we have
Right.
whatever the difference is time here, no matter what, right? We could tell Drisselheim to meet us out there, and then
Right.
we have time here still. But should we talk to the Jarl again and
Yeah.
say like, look, we heard about what's happening in the south.
Yeah.
Just your people are talking. They know about this kind of thing. So
Can we not specify who though?
I think
Oh yeah, no, God no.
that, but
Right.
I agree that we need to talk to the Jarl again.
So one
My
thing,
general, my
Yeah.
feeling a little bit on this is
I would not lead with what we know.
we've got, if we're waiting for this 2-week period to bolster all of the situation, basically if we believe that we can afford to wait this 2 weeks without the dragon running everything, then it may be best to spend those 2 weeks trying to get a handle on, or even, given our track record, put a stop to the situation in the south so that we can reunify.
That's not a bad idea. What's
Right.
So
At the very least, we need to figure out what is going on because Ducky didn't seem to have a ton of information about what's
we gotta talk to the
happening.
No matter how good their soldiers are, they're not as good as us.
that's
We
true.
solve problems.
Yeah.
It's in the name.
So I think
should we
there's
should
some
we
more
split the
Points
party
at
for
his fucking like flak jacket with problem solvers embroidered on the back.
Bedazzled.
But yeah, like if you guys want to, maybe that'll help Nick's idea of getting the Jarl on our side a little bit more. If you present your knowledge of like, listen, we know something's going on, and we can figure it out.
Yeah.
Like it maybe will help her feel a little bit more cooperative with what your plans are.
I'm
Again,
hoping
should we split the party for that?
What do you mean?
At this point,
Like send a small envoy to go find out what the hell is going on down there?
I could try scrying. to at least get some idea.
I think we gotta just talk to the Jarl.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
our best
Okay.
bet.
Yeah, I don't think going there yet is.
Well, because if I can ask Ducky the name of the person who got sent there, I can try scrying on them just to get an idea.
Nah.
So I
Go
think.
talk to the Jarl.
So hold on a sec. I think we're putting a lot of options out there. I think we need to like pick what we can do next and do that thing.
Yeah.
Jarl.
Yeah.
The thing that makes sense for what we do next is we try and have another conversation with the Jarl. See if maybe she's a little more forthcoming this time. Maybe if she's a little more open to us helping her all around instead of just with the dragon thing.
Mhm.
And then from there, I think we can make decisions about where to go next. But I think until we know
What's going
on with the Jarl, I don't think we can make those other decisions.
I agree that we need to solve the Jarl situation first. However, I suggest we do that in two ways. One is for some of us to go there and speak with the Jarl, and if that fails, we need a team to go in and figure out what the hell's going on.
Wait. When you say go in, where do you mean?
Infiltrate the longhouse.
I learned a
Okay.
spell recently that might be useful. It's the 7th level. It lets you go onto the ethereal plane for 8 hours.
Okay.
Because like when you're in the ethereal plane, you can pass through like buildings and stuff, like nothing in the material plane. But I can still. I'm trying to remember now, actually, because I don't.
I have a
I
base
can see
base enough
people.
knowledge of magic to add to know that the spell Zone of Truth exists. Correct?
Yes.
Yes.
I
Can
do.
I be like, yo, does anybody know how to do this? 'Cause
No,
They also know that the spell's been cast, right?
and
yeah.
Who cares? Yeah.
She would take that as
I
she would
feel
not
like
take
I
that
should.
wrong.
I feel like I
we
should
don't have to
remind
lead
you.
with it.
Mm-hmm.
You attempted to scry on the longhouse before
I
and
did.
hit a lot of magical warding.
But yeah,
Yes.
like that conversation.
So that's the only reminder I'm going to give you.
I
So,
doubt
like-
a trip through the ethereal plane will get us in then.
Okay.
Yes.
I doubt any of our
I think we gotta do team stealth.
The other thing I can cast is anti-magic field.
Okay. I don't
that
know.
has possibilities, but we'll,
I don't know. If
That has some repercussions.
we'll hold on to that.
Yeah.
But
That's
I'll
like
keep-
dropping a name bomb on
I'll
them.
keep that in the back pocket. But yes, I do have that as well. So one or the other. Can't have both.
Yeah.
So Sai, you don't mean go to the south and figure out what's happening. You mean
Sneak into the
Great.
laundry.
Making it-
I
Right.
think.
But I think we
That-
should have some sort of contact with it. We need more information all around. So if you can contact your family where they are,
that's
and
another.
I mean more securely than just scrying, and if we can get eyes and ears in the south, then we should try to do that. But what we as a team can do is the Jarl situation.
Mhm.
Yes.
So collect more information on both places and approach the Jarl.
Right.
And honestly, we can't really do much. We don't know the whole picture until we have more information on both places, and then we can go with it to the Jarl.
Mm.
Okay.
That's my understanding of it.
Okay. I can see that.
Even that makes sense. Even what we've learned right now is leaps and bounds beyond where we started. But
Yeah.
if we can get all of our duckies in a row, then we can really come at everything correctly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how do you think we should go about those two information gathering missions then, to the south and to me contacting my hometown?
I mean, I can message your family because I've seen what they look like through the scrying, so I can tell them that it's from you.
Okay.
So I have that.
Don't arcane tricksters have message? That's a spell.
The message and sending are two different things.
I don't know if I have either of those.
Sending allows me to send at any distance. Messages within a certain amount of distance, if I recall.
I don't have it right now. It might be in my spell book, but I don't have it.
So I have the long distance sending.
Right.
She
Yeah.
has a message, which is only useful in
Yeah.
very short distances.
So okay.
Titania didn't have much to say on the dragon, did she? I can't remember.
No,
Not
I
her
think
area.
we're still on it. Game plan. You're right.
Well, no, yeah, this is why I'm asking. Like, she didn't have much to say on it, but would she be aware of what's going on in the south?
Right.
That's a question you could ask.
It's definitely askable. I can't imagine, for lack of a better term, that the petty squabbles of humans matter that much.
True. But
If it turns out it's some other random thing, then sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll just just send the question up the chain and see what she says.
Yeah.
Like while we're having this discussion, I'll just
No harm in asking.
say, Tanya, do you know anything about what's happening in this town of whatever, or the people Break's at war with?
Didn't even know it was happening, to be honest with you there, Sai.
Awesome.
Hasn't really flagged on our arcane radar.
Awesome.
Do you have any, can you ask if she has any, spies or anything down there that she might be able to send and get info?
Do you
You
have
can
any?
also ask Marleman. You have a direct feed, and I can hear you.
Yes.
Hi. I'm here too. Hello.
Well then, do you have any spies or anybody within a day's ride, I suppose?
No, but you do.
Oh.
I had a feeling that that's where we were going with this.
What?
Is it Neve down there?
No, I thought it was in the plane of water.
Yeah.
Neve, Amontensian is hiding somewhere in the elemental plane of Earth, and Neve is missing in action, physically. But no, she says, no, we still haven't seen Neve since the attack.
Oh, God.
But no, the Lathander is a relatively short sail away, and you have a number of people over there who can make your way, plus a boat.
We do have a boat.
We have a boat. Yeah. Okay. So I think we should contact them. Have somebody put eyes on the situation who knows what they're doing. Is that where we last left Bonnie and her crew?
Bonnie
they are-
is in the Feywild.
Yeah, Bonnie is in the Feywild.
Her crew.
Her crew is somewhere between Lathander and the Turtles, running trips back and
Yeah,
forth.
That's right. They're on a trade mission. That's right.
They've
What
gone.
about, is Vondra in Lathander still?
Vondra's in Lathander.
Yeah.
Perrin's still in Lathander, last you saw.
There you go. Look at all these people we have.
But I'm pretty sure. Oh God, I forgot her name.
Tell Perrin. He's an excellent tracker.
Perrin's
Our
niece.
boat.
What the hell's her name?
Who?
What
Uh,
the are we?
Perrin's niece or sister or whatever. The
Also in the
oh my
Feywild.
God.
She's in the
Also in
Feywild.
the Feywild.
Yeah, she's at my house in the Feywild. I know, but
She is.
name.
Oh, Teandra.
Vondra.
I was gonna say she's with Bonnie in the Feywild.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Where's our boat?
Currently
Oh,
parked in Lathander.
Okay.
Perfect.
So
One of them to take it.
how far would it be from Lathander to the South Shore?
With a good boat, probably take 2 days open sea.
But how about we
that's,
Do we have a good boat?
You have a very good boat.
but will that time frame be enough? Because that means we have to delay our talk with the y'all for 2 days.
Not necessarily.
I think that's okay.
That's okay.
Yeah. It's not the end of the
He
world.
doesn't need to know that we're asking for somebody to come take a look.
That's fair. Okay. So why don't we do
Yes.
it that way then?
Okay.
So Vondra is going from Lathander to Nehet to gather information for us.
Well,
Once I
Or we are asking her to do that.
yeah.
Okay.
Don't we also have people who man that boat? Like, don't we employ?
Yeah, you have a crew.
we have
Yeah, they say see a lot, correct?
Yeah, it's
There we go.
I forget what their names were.
I
I'm
also
like-
do, but I remember their identifying characteristics.
also
I'll pull it up.
I've watched and listened to so many podcasts at this point. I forget like
What's yours?
and what has been done. It's a weird little.
It's a weird problem to have, huh? Yeah. Where was Perrin? Perrin was also on Lathander. That's the case.
Or in the area when you left them.
My little necklace doesn't give me the option to talk to him, does it?
You haven't tried.
Perrin!
Just clutching your necklace and screaming.
Screaming at it, yeah.
Seems like a
Um,
magical inquiry.
Give me-
I believe he gave me his, in fact.
yes, you did.
So, yeah.
Hang on, give me 1 second. I'm trying to pull up the names of your crew. Because hey, guys, that's information that I haven't thought about in fucking forever.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, it's been a minute since we've been there.
Yep, all their names start with G. I remember that. But
Oh shit, you're right.
it's Gustavo, Guillermo, and
Oh yeah.
fuck, I forgot the third guy's name, but something of that ilk.
Okay. Well, whatever.
Gus?
Giuseppe. Yes, it was in fact Giuseppe.
Yeah. All right. Well, I don't know who else. He's not on our walkie-talkies, right?
Who?
Aaron.
No.
I feel like I would have given him one.
I mean,
Okay.
We
It's a-
couldn't have given him one.
Okay.
Oh,
then whatever.
Actually, as you're thinking about this, roll. I'm not even going to make you roll. You remember that you still have the bound stone that he gave you, that he had embedded a bit of the bear into. It's how you discussed with him when he was heading to Lathander and you guys were heading beyond the wall.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the
Forte.
bear?
Forte.
Yeah, Forte.
Spirit.
Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, don't worry. This is a precise thing.
Wait,
So you still
yeah.
have that, Marlowen. If you channel some magic into it, something might happen.
I think I'm gonna do that.
Something good
Right.
is bound to happen.
Something good.
That's
Or-
his entire life.
Yeah.
Through magic,
What are you
something
talking-
happens with a
Some
question
magic
mark.
bear.
What do I need to do here?
That's all of
Just
our-
burn a first level. This isn't going to be particularly complicated.
Okie dokie.
You can't see
Um,
him, but he's so cute.
Oh,
Oh,
oh, oh, what a buddy.
he's so good.
Okay.
And as you do so, slowly, your vision actually turns orange. And then you realize that you're not looking at a wall. You're looking at a bunch of trees in the woods somewhere. And you can't turn your head. You could just look. Do you say anything?
Yeah, but I have a funny feeling I know what's gonna happen.
What do you say? There is a and then someone falls out of a tree. Except that you are also falling out of the tree because you're on that person's head.
Okay.
And you're laying on the ground, and a voice from just somewhere below you, not very close, just goes, "The fuck was that?
Hey, buddy, it's me.
Are you talking out of my bear?"
hey, what a buddy, it's Drobot.
Yeah. Have you seen you ever see that movie Annihilation? It's really it's a lot like that. It's
Oh my god.
Okay, hang on. And then there's like a weird twisting sensation as like your vision just kind of spins out. And suddenly you're standing in front of Perrin. You look down and now you can move your head. You see that you have paws, but everything is vaguely orange. But you are now standing in front of him as opposed to on his head.
I've got a bit of a favor to ask.
Perrin looks at you and goes, okay. Last time you asked me to do a favor for you, I ended up a revenant, and I'm still dealing with the consequences of that.
Well, listen, I'm not asking you to do anything super dangerous, but just something that's a little dangerous.
Do you know how hard it is to date when you're half dead?
Listen, I'm very sorry, but you're.
I mean, we've all been there.
Can he hear the rest of us through?
No.
Okay.
But you do. Here's the thing, though. Because Marleman is technically possessing Forte at the moment, Forte's consciousness is technically possessing Marleman. So every so often, Marleman is just kind of blinking at you guys and going, "Hey!"
Oh, hi,
Yeah,
Honey!
yeah, looking this way.
He's sort of like in your hand.
Oh.
I couldn't help myself.
Meanwhile, on the other side of the psychic connection.
Listen, I know it's a lot to ask, but I'm just looking for somebody to do a quick scout for me. You don't have to
All
get it vetted. I just need to kind of know what's going on in the area.
All right, what do you need? Where am I going?
South Shore, city of Nehet. It's a human city.
No, I'm familiar. I had to head through there to get to Bard's Gate, where we first met, remember? No, it's fine. It's good. Take me.
Are you close? If you aren't, I wouldn't ask this of you.
Yeah, I'm actually way closer than I thought I would be. Yeah, I could. Do you mind if I borrow the pearl?
The necklace thing? What?
The boat.
Our boat.
Oh yeah, please. We have. Is Vondra's taking the boat? I'm asking this to people in the party.
Whoever we can get.
Yeah.
Yeah, the boat's just parked in Lavender.
Okay. Yeah, no, take the boat. But again, don't put yourself in too much danger.
Purely scouting. Got it.
Yes, very much so.
Are you giving?
And I only bring this up because we're in the middle of a thing. There's supposedly something bad going on down there. So again, keep your distance. I'm trying to be honest. Aaron, I'm trying to be honest with you.
No, like I can just sense it. I can just sense it.
Tom Cruise, this is your mission should you choose to accept it.
I choose to accept it. If I die again, it's your job to resurrect my ass again. I'll let you know what I find.
Okay.
Can I resurrect him?
Wide birth, friend. Wide just.
Yes, that I will. Scouting only. Don't go in. Scouting only.
And then, do you know how to reach me? You got my digits?
Well,
me. You know how it works.
I didn't think the thing that you had now was going to work, but I guess it still works. So sure. Can you get out of my bear?
Yeah. Sorry. Wait.
All right.
Do you have any honey?
Bye. And you.
Whoa!
You blink back into your own consciousness, and your head is like half in Phaedra's hand, nuzzling it.
Okay, and he's back.
I've got one on my shoulder here. You want to get that one too?
Now you're not a bear.
Says you.
Perrin's gonna go take the pearl to investigate. I told him to be very careful.
Oh boy. Okay.
Did he actually give me like how long he said he would take?
I think he said 2 days or something.
Yeah, 2 days.
Okay, we've got 2 days before that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that's.
I think we should still go talk to the Jarl and see how much we can get.
And
Right.
also like sneak in if possible.
Yeah, I think we should also.
Wait.
I think we should also tell the dwarves to start marching because it's going to take too long.
Yes.
I'll send the message because I already told them to be prepped for that before we left.
Sure. I got a boogie soon.
So they had already said they were going to
Yeah.
be prepped, and they were just waiting for me to tell them like when to actually start heading over.
Yes. Just also make sure you tell them not to march like into.
Don't march into the city.
Yeah,
Yeah.
tell them to meet. Like,
Make sure
let us know when they are close, and we will rendezvous outside.
How? Oh. Okay.
Don't worry, there's plenty of space to do that.
Yeah.
Okay. How would they have a message? Would somebody else have sending? Somebody.
They have spellcasters.
Somebody has to be able to send a message. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
They're all fucking like paladins and clerics, and they'll be fine.
Yeah.
So you D&D, you do that.
I DM.
Yeah, you do that.
That's living.
Whoever you contact of the many people in Jerusalem that you know,
Should I also ask them? Were we gonna do the supplies thing?
Yes,
Yes.
supplies
Agreed.
for. I give her the
Agreed.
numbers for the troops, and like the cavalry seemed fine, but
Okay. Let's just say you're talking to Sylvia, so that way it's not like going through a weird chain of people.
Mhm.
Sylvia herself says, we'll create some unmarked boxes. We
People
have
don't
some. We'll leave a tiny note in there so that way it's from us.
Yeah.
But that way, nothing can identify where it's coming from. And they do have some human armor that they can send through.
Okay.
Weapons, they got plenty. That will come through too.
Yeah. Any food or anything that we can distribute also.
Yeah, mostly food they're going to send across.
Cool. Great.
Food, the exact numbers you get is food for 500 for 3 days.
Okay.
it'll have to do. The rest of the provision.
Well,
We need Jarl for 1,500 days.
Okay.
So you do that. And then are you guys sleeping or are you going to do anything else with the rest of your evening? It is like pretty deep into sundown now.
Yeah. So I think the only thing left that we kind of wanted to check off was me contacting my
Yes.
family.
Mhm.
But I mean, that can wait a day, assumably. It's fine.
I mean,
Since
Okay.
we have to wait for those other pieces anyway.
if we have, if we as people have time, I think we should do it like every day and just kind of get rapid, just constant updates on the situation in case we need to move faster than we expected.
Yep.
Okay. So do you
I
want
agree with that too.
now?
Okay.
Seems reasonable, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Who am I sending it to?
It was my aunt's house, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So my aunt.
What's your aunt's name?
Did we name her?
Yes, it's in the letter I sent you.
Karen. It's Karen.
Oh no.
Oh, bummer.
We want to save her.
Everybody's got one of those.
Well, not up there because this is Ryan's computer. 1 second. Mhm.
Hang on, I got it here. Aunt Hira.
Hira?
Hira.
Okay.
Velma.
Cool. Thank you.
Louise.
Okay.
What am I
what
going
do
to say?
Please.
Like I'm a friend of Nick's.
Yeah. I'm a friend of Nick's. She's trying to get help. We just need some time. Do you have time?
Also, no.
Please.
you
Awesome.
receive back? Oh, hello, friend of Nick's. Is she eating well? We hope so. Things are okay. Dragon occupation, not great, but doing well enough for now.
Hags.
Cool.
Fuck.
So.
She asked if you were eating well, so I assume things are okay enough if she's asking that.
That's just on here. But okay, so we have a little bit of time. Obviously, still the sooner the better.
I think they'll be okay for at least a couple of days because, like, I feel like the dragon is going to want people to give them stuff, and if they, don't have people to give them stuff, then they have to do the work themselves. That sounds like not what a dragon wants to do.
So we have time to kind of get our stuff in a row.
I think so.
And get
Yeah.
started before we head over. That's okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay. So you all settle in and sleep the night in Sai's place.
Mm.
The first shipment of supplies from Drisselheim is going to come in tomorrow morning, so that'll be something to handle. Keep that in mind. Sai, write down whatever you're going to say to Connor, so that way we know to do that when you can. And we will pick this up next time we can.
Cool.
Sounds good.
Nice long session with a lot of moving pieces.
Still light out.
Yeah.
Still light out.
Yeah,
Trev
now I don't
beat up
have,
a
I don't
racist.
have to go straight to bed. This is
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Drag myself.
Trev, thank you for letting me pick you a fight. I
All right,
appreciate
yeah,
it.
it's all good. That went exactly how I hoped it would.
You guys did so well.
Morgan, don't leave the stream.
Yeah, I was
Okay.
going to say, speaking of exactly how I hoped it would, I have 4 ladders to distribute.
All right. See you later.